Have you tried apps like MidJourney and ChatGPT to generate design images, but not got the results that you want? Take a look at these. There's a long-standing myth that you need secret prompt formulas or advanced skills to get great results with ChatGPT, MidJourney, or Runway. But the truth is you don't. The world of AI is moving fast. I've been using ChatGPT and MidJourney since they were first released to create stunning visuals, mood boards, and pitch content. And I don't use prompt formulas anymore. In fact, I just describe what I want in plain language and let ChatGPT do the heavy lifting. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I go from inspiration to AI generated animation using just natural language and a simple workflow that you can start using today. Let's talk about something I wish more people said out loud. There's a weird kind of gatekeeping around prompts. People act like they've unlocked some secret formula that only real creatives can use. But in reality, prompting is not a skill anymore, not with GPT 4.0. Once you understand the principles of effective prompting, and I'll explain this in this video here, and you are prepared to experiment, it's easy peasy. So today, I don't write complex prompts. You don't need lengthy AI courses to get great results. I just describe what I want and ChatGPT does the rest. For example, instead of memorizing tags or formatting complex instructions, I'll say something like this. I want a cozy reading nook with soft ambient lighting, linen upholstery, and a view of the mountains at sunset. That's it, and it works. So you no longer need to be an expert prompt engineer. You just need to know and understand a few basic principles, explain what you want, and be prepared to experiment. So let me walk you through the full process I use, and wait for it, it's only 3 steps. To explain the principles behind the process, let's start with this image that I found on Pinterest. It's got this very dark clouds, there's a little church, and the land is quite barren and brown. And what I want to do is I want to use this image, and I also want to add in some references. So I'd like to make the grass in front of the church a little bit more vibrant. So I found this image here, and you can see this image shows multicolored grasses, the reds, the yellows, the blues, and I want to have a similar image to this, but with these grasses. But I don't want it to be too vivid, so I've actually added this other image here, which shows the kind of green tones and the mountains and the clouds. You can see in the original image, the clouds are quite dark and ominous. I want to lighten that up. So after I've added these, I need to have a prompt. So the first thing that I would do is head over to ChatGPT. I would ask it to describe this image. So let's take the image of the church, and I'd say, I want to make a similar image on MidJourney. So this is the context. Could you give me a prompt? So you can see here, we are actually now in version 7. So we want to ignore all of this and then just keep the actual description. You can generate this as many times as possible until you get a prompt that you are happy with. Once you've got that prompt, you can copy it, then head back into MidJourney and generate. It will take a few minutes. That's the most exciting part. And you may have to generate this a few times until you get the result you want. So this example really explains the difference between the image reference and the style reference. If we look at this image, we can see it's very heavily influenced in terms of its composition. there's a church standing in this open field, which is very similar to the original image. But you can also see where the original image had a very brown, barren landscape. It's actually added in these greens and these reds. It still kept it quite muted. If you wanted it more vibrant, you can regenerate again. And you can see, actually tried this prompt before, and you can see that it has generated much more vivid colors. The style reference is really giving the image a direction in terms of the colors, the composition, and the features of the image, whereas the image reference really gives the structure of that image. That if you want an image that is structured in a particular way, use the image reference and then use the style references to give more of a creative direction. Okay, now that you understand the difference between image reference and style references, let's apply it to a design. So let's grab some inspiration. I'm starting up a Shopify store for my resources, and I want to have imagery that goes with my brand vibe. I'll set up a Millernote board to share my inspiration and ensure that I am moving in the right direction. So I went over to Pinterest and I saved 3 to 4 images that reflect the vibe that I'm going for. I'm looking at my existing site and looking at what might go with it. Think textures, colors, and styling, not just pull out furniture or specific interiors. So let's look at this example. I pulled out some colors that I was interested in, and I pulled out these images. So my tip is, when looking at style references, look for colors, textures, and a vibe. And look beyond interior design images. You could choose a wallpaper, a landscape, a photo of a view, lighting, or a texture. Then I try to find an image similar to the one that I want to create. So I'm looking for a structure. And once I have this, let's head over to ChatGPT. So I'll upload this reference into ChatGPT and I'll say, I'm working on whatever vibe that you're going for. In this case, I'm working on a Scandinavian inspired living. I want muted colors, boucle textures, minimal styling, and warm oak tone. Can you give me a MidJourney prompt that describes the attached image? So just be natural and use your own words to describe what you want. And this is where the magic happens. Then take a look at the prompt and see if you are happy with it. Make any adjustments that you want. You might want to save a number of prompts. Now, let's head into MidJourney. You might be wondering, why don't I generate this in ChatGPT itself? Well, MidJourney tends to be a lot more artistic and has a lot more artistic freedom, so I prefer using it. Now, let's head into MidJourney and paste it into your prompt. So you click on this image icon here and it opens a dialog box, and you can upload your image reference and then your style references. So I then paste in the prompt, they add the style references, and within a few minutes, I have 4 images. So try it out for yourself. I've left some images in this description for you to download and to practice. And if you're finding this video helpful, don't forget to like and consider subscribing. I'll be going into even more depth in future videos. Before we move on, here are a few tips to improve your images. You might have to try again and again and practice using the very subtle and the very strong buttons. You might have to try it a few times. Play around with the settings, use the sliders. You may want to turn personalization on and off, and keep testing. So once you have some images, I upscale the ones that I love, I save them, and that becomes my hero visual. And you can see a few of the examples that I've created. So now you're creating client-ready visuals faster than you can even imagine, even faster than you could source product images from catalogs. So I love using these kinds of images in client presentations. And remember, you're selling them a feeling. The more you can reach the emotions of the clients, the more compelling your presentation. So let's give them some wow factor by adding in some animation. And we're going to bring the image to life in Runway. So before we do that, let's head back into ChatGPT. I upload the MidJourney image that I created, and then I asked ChatGPT to write a prompt to animate this image. Think subtle movements like flickering candles, swaying curtains, or sunlight shifting across the floor. Keep the camera completely still. I'll be using Runway. You don't need to know filmmakers speak. Just tell it what you want in natural language. And just like that, ChatGPT writes the perfect prompt for Runway's Gen 4. Then I head back into Runway, I paste in the prompt, I upload my image and wait a few minutes to generate a 5-second video. And just like that, I've created an animated visual that looks like it took hours to make. Now, I have to warn you that Runway is relatively expensive and you can run out of credits pretty fast. A 5-second HD video costs around 60 to 80 credits, sometimes up to 120. Before you start generating, be happy with your prompt. I paid for the Pro plan, which is around $35 a month, which gives me around 2,250 credits. But Runway does have a free plan. So let's take a look at a few more examples. As you can see, there's no guesswork, there's no secret prompt. ChatGPT tells you exactly what to do. So there is no technical experience required. This is drag and drop simple. So another bonus tip, if you want to turn that motion graphic into a seamless loop for your website or social feed, you can hop into a tool like Kling and set the first and last frame as the same, and Kling will generate a smooth looped version. Take a look at this. You can even add AI generated sound. Think birds chirping, ambient music, or wind in the trees. So here's what you now know. You don't need a prompt formula. You don't need photographic or video making knowledge, and you definitely don't need to overthink it. So here's what you do need: an idea, a few inspiration images. I like Pinterest, ChatGPT, MidJourney, Runway, and maybe Kling. All of these tools have free plans so that you can experiment. So with these 3 tools and this workflow, you can create professional grade visuals, mood boards, client presentations, and content in minutes. Want to make this even easier? You can grab my free Notion workspace, a place where you can save your prompts and image generations. There's a link in the description. And if you're ready to go even deeper, watch this next video up here where I show you how to create an entire animated interior concept presentation using just ChatGPT, MidJourney, and Runway, start to finish. You've got this. Let's make something beautiful. See you in the next video.